Welcome everyone to Strange Planet NYC. This is Ralph Perez here, and here we are talking about the news that came out regarding the novel of Rise of Skywalker involving Emperor Palpatine. I am joined by two great co-hosts right now. I got here Alex Figueroa from Ultra HD Geek. He has his own channel. Definitely check that one out and make sure to subscribe to it. We also have here my good old buddy, Star Wars extraordinaire expert, Jamel Lopez from the Facebook page, The Order, Jedi versus the Dark Side. How are you guys doing? You good?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, let us get into it. Because
Let's do it.
you know, do it. Do it. Jamel, you have something there, right? Go ahead.
Do it.
Isn't that the coolest thing? I swear, he's a great pop figure of Emperor Palpatine. You know, this past week, we were all hit. The media was hit with an incredible news coming out of the Chicago Comic-Con last week, where it was revealed when the novel of The Rise of Skywalker, the novel adaptation of The Rise of Skywalker was released, and it revealed distinctly that Emperor Palpatine, was, in fact, at least his body was the one that you saw in the movie Rise of Skywalker was in fact a clone. A clone. Okay? And I was like, you serious? It's been a couple months since the last since the movie got released in theaters, right? We're in early March.
December?
Yeah, late December. We're in early March now, right? We're approaching 3 months. It's been a while. We had a chance to marinate about this. I kind of want your guys' opinion on what you think. Have you seen it again? Have you had a chance to really kind of like contemplate on what we're seeing? I mean, we did a video, Alex. We did. In fact, I'll put a link below to it on your channel about our review of Rise of Skywalker. Okay. So it will be a good thing to revisit for those of you who want to watch it and kind of get a sense of what our initial reaction was when the movie came out. But how, since it's been a couple months, what do you guys think? What do you has your feelings changed about it at all?
My initial reaction was still the same, actually. It hasn't changed.
Okay.
It hasn't changed at all. I mean, there was a lot of plot holes in this film that really wasn't explained.
Yeah.
And you can really see it because of the inconsistent flow of the film. And I mean, look at how it ended. I mean, right now it's revered as one of the worst Star Wars films ever made.
Yeah. It's so shame.
It didn't even make $1 billion.
It didn't get to that point, huh? That's really sad.
It didn't get to that point.
Alex, what are your thoughts?
Well, when I first saw it in the theater, I didn't like it. I mean, again, we have the reviews when we all did it. I didn't like it. They hurt my man Kylo, and I felt like a character like him deserved more than what they did with the character. But again, I agree with Jamel. There was a lot of plot holes that you were just like, what? Like they were just filling all the mistakes that I don't think it was mistakes, but all the mistakes that Rian Johnson laid out from The Last Jedi, they were fixing that while they were trying to tell a new story, try to end this whole saga.
Yeah.
So it was kind of messed up. But honestly, did I rewatch it? No. I'm going to wait for it when it comes out on disc. Once it comes out on disc, I'll watch it again to see if it will change. But honestly, I don't think it will. It's just going to be a at-home version. I don't think it's going to change. It's going to be just like, I hate it even more.
Crazy damage control they've been trying to do since the Last Jedi a couple years ago. And,
I had a funny feeling that once the novelization came out, that certain things were going to be revealed, whether anybody liked it or not, and for them to do what they did as far as reshoots and delete scenes, you get that feeling that whatever scenes they took out, it was going to be revealed in the novelization. And once it was revealed in the novelization, how would the fans react to it? Would they care? Would they not? Would they not care? You know, at this point, I mean, it's like, devil's advocate. You're gonna have to play your cards.
Well, I mean, a lot of people are not gonna. I mean, if you don't like the film, regardless if you read the book, you're not gonna like the book. You're gonna be like, why the hell didn't you just put this on the screen when we were watching it the first time? Like, why are you gonna wait for a book 4 months later?
Originally the book was supposed to come out the same day the movie was released.
Right, you told me
But,
they pushed it.
But then they pushed it to March because of what was going on with the reshoots. And they basically said, okay, this book is going to come out. Everybody's going to know what the hell is going to go down. And if we do these reshoots, how are they going to, their fans might be misguided or misleaded, as far as storylines.
We were already misled. We've been misled for 2 months. Because in essence, this is what it comes down to. We just found out of Chicago, the Comic-Con that was in Chicago, with the release of the novelization of Rise of Skywalker, that Emperor Palpatine, the Emperor Palpatine that we saw in the film was in fact, at least physically, a clone, a physical body of a clone. Go ahead, Alex.
Question, Ralph.
Yeah.
Question to you guys, because I missed the opening 15 minutes. That's the only reason why I'm rewatching this movie.
Oh, okay.
I kind of missed it.
Yeah.
But since you guys saw it, right, before you guys knew that there was a clone or whatever, did you guys think when you guys saw him first appear, Kylo, and walked up to him and you saw the Snoke tanks and everything going, damn, is Palpatine a actual clone? Or this is like surprising to you that it came out? Like, did you have like a little thing in your head going, "Oh, he's a clone"?
No,
I actually
no.
No,
I'm not surprised, because in order for you to execute his return, you either have to have a story behind it, or you're going to other known sources of material that would guide you into his return. And to be perfectly honest, the only way you would have to bring him back as a clone. They did it in the extended universe with Dark Empire. They brought him back as a clone.
Yeah.
It was revealed there that his power is too great and that the body wasn't going to sustain his power. So basically, they took that material, which was not canon, and if you remember, if you read my post, I recently put a post. I said that when a writer, when it comes to writing either a story or a novel or a script, the writer has to have that number one rule. Okay? And it's know the rule. The first thing is that you have to know the rule of writing. And then once you learn the rule, then you have to learn how to break it. But there's only one thing that there's one thing that you have to be aware of, not to get caught. And at some point, they got caught because they knew that nobody was gonna be like, okay, he's a clone. Well, that they'll say, oh, that's from Dark Empire. Supposedly, it's not canon. So how could they use that?
They've pulled stuff out of the extended universe books,
but not blatantly.
Sure, they have.
Blatantly. No, not blatantly.
Sure, they have.
Because the stuff that they took out, they had to redo everything. It's like, okay,
Admiral Thrawn.
Yeah, but Admiral Thrawn was already canon.
Was he canon before Rebels?
Yes.
When?
Well, they mentioned him in the Clone Wars, I'm pretty sure.
How do you know that? I don't recall that.
You don't recall that?
I don't think they ever say his
because
name.
everybody, I remember that when Admiral Thrawn was revealed in Rebels, the whole world lost their minds, and everybody was unanimous in saying, Thrawn was. They took him out of the expanded universe novels and put him in canon. He's canon. Right. I remember that was the main thing at the time, right. Jamel. So
but I mean, in all fairness, it's not that surprising that he's a clone.
I'll tell you this, if you want to know my thoughts. The first few minutes, Alex, to answer your question, when I went into the theater and I saw this, the first indicator that there was some kind of weird biology and weird lab experiment was when I saw those cloned copies of Snoke all like in that tank.
Okay.
Right.
That was it right there. Kind of reminded me of Alien Resurrection. When they were right, like all the different versions of Ripley and like that, whatever. Remember that? That was bad.
He's like in the tank and he goes, "My boy." It's like he just, every time he walks by one, like.
Well, even before you saw the tanks, Palpatine had already said that he created Snoke.
Right, but here's my thing. Here's the thing. I've actually read excerpts of the description of what happened the moment Vader threw him down the shaft in Return of the Jedi. It describes what happened.
Right.
I don't know. His body died. His body died, but of course, what did we talk about before, Jamel? You know what I'm gonna get about here. Right. Apparently, he had a contingency plan before the destruction of the Death Star. And the contingency plan was this group of zealots called the Sith Eternal, and they were on that planet Exegol. And here's the thing that drives me a little bit weird, but I get it, because the Force transcends space and time. We got to remember that, okay? It's not like he's flying through space. It's not like Leia, when Leia was like this, like Mary Poppins. What happened was, as I read the description of what happened to him in The Rise of Skywalker, the excerpt, and I caught this online, from the guy from Star Wars Theory. He read the whole thing, and the whole page is right there on the and you could read along with him.
Yeah,
so he's not making it up. You saw that, right? This guy is good. Like, he really knows his stuff. And I was like, holy God, this is serious. Apparently, in a nutshell, he did essence transfer, this ancient Sith practice of essence transfer that Darth Bane attempted, that other Sith Lords thousands of years before have done. As he was falling down the shaft, you hear a description of him letting go of his physical self and going to Exegol, where the Sith Eternal were already prepping and doing whatever they could to kind of like reanimate him in a newly formed body, which they were failing at because they couldn't get a body that was conducive of a Force-sensitive being. And because of that, not only was the power of Palpatine was so powerful that for the next 35 years, every time they tried to like bring him back into something, like the body wouldn't be able to take it and would start decomposing rather quickly. That's why his fingers were all messed up when we saw him there like that. That's why his face didn't look like we normally saw it. He looked pale, but yet it was his. Look, Jamel, hold up that thing again. That little pop figure. Showed it up. Yeah, look at that. That's not the same kind of face we're used to, because because that's a clone. You're okay, Jamel. Put it down, Jamel. They're gonna be there the whole time. So that's what it described. That kept on trying again and again and again. I mean, I'm just telling you what the books are saying. Snoke wasn't even. Guess what? He didn't belong to any kind of species.
He wasn't even a being.
He wasn't even a being. He was a freak of nature that couldn't hold himself physically either. It was his body would decompose. That's why he looked messed up. That was the reason why he looked all busted. Because the same thing, except he was able to at least move and not
for a being that's deformed and everything. He was really strong in the dark side.
Right, but it was that very same strength that was doing that to him physically. That was the issue.
My thing. All right, so so he did the essence transfer, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he needed a body.
Yeah.
Right.
So why did they not put the damn essence in Kylo and then had Rey fight Kylo for the final battle and then she kills him? And there
Because
you
they
go.
didn't. Because they didn't have a scene where he actually did it. I think it would have made perfect sense.
Yeah, but they did have the scene.
If well, no, because what happens is if it would have made perfect sense instead of asking Rey to do it, he could have just had Kylo do it in the very beginning, basically just killing him, knowing that he's a clone. You know, and then not wasting everybody's time with the whole, the dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities. We've heard that before.
Well, that was the
What
clue.
you're saying.
That would have made him the big bad guy of the Rise of Skywalker instead of Palpatine.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
but if you would have had, like, let's say they kept the whole whatever, right?
Right.
And the minute she's battling him, right? She's holding the two lightsabers, and they do that corny exchange lines between each other.
yeah.
Kylo's greediness, because he's Ben now,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden he sees potential, like, holy crap, hey, I could now become stronger than Vader and all this crap if I take his essence. And all of a sudden he pushes her out the way and strikes him down. And then the whole place starts chanting, hoo ha ha ha, hoo ha, hoo ha. And the hand and the stupid essence transfer goes into Kylo. And now he becomes all deformed with his red eyes. And then bam, now you have the big bad guy versus the good guy that everyone loved from the first two movies. I mean, you mean to tell me if that did not happen, the theater would not get up and go crazy? He becomes Emperor Kylo? Like, all of a sudden, like, Skywalker's genes mixed with Palpatine's genes? Like, holy hell. Like, never seen that before.
Well,
Like,
you got to remember,
I mean-
there's no genes there physically because essence transfer is the spirit of a person, the soul.
Right, but I'm just saying, you have supposedly the most strongest metachlorians in the planet, which is Skywalker, and now you're mixing that with the most evil villain in the whole Star Wars galaxy
The most
into
powerful,
one.
arguably the
Yeah.
most powerful
Right.
Sith, right?
And then you have them together in one body versus now Rey, where now she has to hone the freaking Jedis to help. That would be 10 times better to me.
Right.
It
would.
I agree. I actually agree with that.
I actually think they should have just striked them down. It would have made perfect sense because now the question is now they're posing the same question about Rey. Why didn't Rey strike him down? What would have happened if she would have struck him down?
Right.
Or what the end result would have been?
She
Was
could have
she-
been dark side Rey with the double lightsaber.
Even though the way she killed him, with the whole X Factor, whatever deflection.
What?
That scene was so bad.
But isn't that the same thing as striking him down? Don't you think she still would have gotten his essence in her? Either way?
It's not striking him down because striking him down is she but what she did was she disintegrated him because she hit him with every freaking power and then he went and then he just started like he broke like the Matrix. Yeah, like to me it's just like I just felt like that was just such a weak ending. Like, I mean, I know we could talk about it. I know there's like 20 visions. Yes, and there's like 20,000 versions of those scenes because we heard that there's scenes where Kylo didn't kiss her and then they kissed and who gives a crap at this point? I'm just like, for a final movie where Palpatine is the biggest. I'm gonna be honest with you. Him sitting in a chair shooting the lightning into the sky was awesome. I was like, damn, this dude is strong. But then the minute he became strong, I'm thinking, damn, he's gonna steal the lightsabers from those two and fight them, or something's gonna. You know what I mean? All he did was just, wow, this is cool. And then all of a sudden, she came out with her, and he was like, power. And I'm like, what? Wait a minute, you got full strength. You're full strength. You are Emperor Palpatine. I mean, as Senator, I don't care, Sith Lord, Master, whoever the hell you are now. You are in full strength. And you mean to tell me instead of paralyzing them, you go, power! Like, no. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
I hear you.
He's full strength.
Yeah.
He would have went, Stay right there. And she would have just went, and it was over. They had done. It's like, you will bow down now because shit's about to hit the fan. That's what he should just say.
You know, I have to admit, I really do believe that a lot of this was definitely damage control from Return of the Jedi. I mean, not Return. I'm sorry, The Last Jedi. Sorry, The Last Jedi.
Well,
you know what? I could be right actually on that one.
If you saw the video clip, there was a video clip of Ian McDiarmid in a convention sitting down, and they asked him, was the whole idea of a clone, of Palpatine being a clone, was it originally an original idea that they were going to put in the film? He has said that in the original cut, it was revealed that Palpatine was a clone, and they just cut it out for no apparent reason.
That was
They cut out that one sentence. He said a sentence, and I know he repeated it to the crowd because I watched that whole convention thing.
Yeah.
And another thing that he talked about, which I thought was fascinating, and I was like, "Holy crap!" And it made more sense coming from him. I'm like, dude. Yeah. He talked about. He goes, if you look at the way Palpatine was throughout the movie, he was at the weakest state, and then he was getting stronger to the point that he thought that he could never be strong again until he sucked the Dyla, whatever the hell the stupid thing was. And then he was like, oh, I am strong. And then all of a sudden he died. That's what he said. And it was like, and then he died. I don't know. Honestly, personally, to me, they should have just never brought him back and let Kylo be the villain. I think it was just something to get the fans hyped, but honestly, they didn't do nothing because he didn't fight. All he did was shoot lightning.
Well,
I think that's what originally Colin Trevorrow wanted to do in Duels of the Fate, where he wanted Kylo to be the villain, and it was just been like Rey versus Kylo Ren. But unfortunately, things have a way of not going the way you want it. There are things that have happened after this film. Bob Iger stepped down as CEO. Kathleen Kennedy lost her creative control powers.
She did?
She did. She can no longer interfere in any production that's involving Star Wars.
Now? Yikes.
So you would have to say that this is basically the fall of Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger. And, because of Kathleen Kennedy's constant involvement in what she wanted, she basically just screwed this film.
Now, who gave her the boot?
Well, no, because remember, it was Bob Iger that gave her creative control of The Rise of Skywalker and the trilogy. But once Bob Iger left, she lost her creative control. So basically they already knew what the downfall was. Once Bob Iger stepped down, he already knew it. It was just a matter of time before he stepped down. So now you have this new CEO, and he wants to either he wants to restart the whole Star Wars franchise from scratch, or he does something where he's just gonna retcon the Rise of Skywalker. What I've heard was that there might be a reset for the Rise of Skywalker. But
wait, what? Release a new movie?
Yeah.
What?
No, that's not.
No.
I know it's not going to happen, but they were talking about it.
No. I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
But to get these actors back on board, they're not going to do.
They said they were already done.
Yeah, they're done. Adam Driver is like, I'm not.
Adam Driver's done. John Boyega said that he doesn't want to be involved anymore. The actress that plays Rey said that she's done with
Daisy
it.
Ridley.
Daisy Ridley already said once The Last Jedi was done that after The Rise of Skywalker, she won't be portraying Rey anymore.
Yeah, well, it kind of makes sense for her character. I mean, but in terms of the movie made $1.3 billion in the box office.
Oh, worldwide?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
but it's still the lowest out of the three.
Okay.
Out of the three franchises, that's the lowest. The highest one will always be Force Awakens. But see, this is a topic I don't want to talk about here. But let's just a quick thing before we Ralph could go right into the next topic. If it wasn't the old characters coming back for Force Awakens, right? And it wasn't like the 40-year whatever the whole movie was, would it really generate that much money?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Like, think about it. If Harrison Ford and all the people never came back, I'm like, that movie would never ever generate the money it did with these new people.
I think it was just the hype.
Yeah.
It was basically the hype of having a Star Wars film created again.
Everybody was excited. We were excited.
Since the prequels. You know, we were all excited. We haven't seen a Star Wars film since the prequels.
Yeah.
But you know what? That kind of hype generates a lot of fans to want to see it. Once they saw it and everybody liked it, they just were going to keep coming back. Right. And that's what makes the movie so successful, is these repeated comebacks to come and see this film. You know, you had people coming back 4 or 5 times to see the Force Awakens, and they made a lot of money. You know? And then when it came to The Last Jedi, I don't know. I mean, it's like, where did who dropped the ball on that one? You know, because I think it was just, you know, the fans didn't like the way Luke Skywalker was portrayed, which is understandable. But you also got to look at it as a whole for the trilogy. You know, where does this go? and because of the Last Jedi, you had to retcon that and do fan service for the Rise of Skywalker, which was like, you know.
Yeah, it was just a recipe for disaster. They had like no idea for 3. Instead of having one director direct all 3, they decided to go with.
It's as if they were making it up as they went along.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
That's exactly what it was. It was like, what are we going to do with these characters? But go ahead.
The 2 things I remembered is all right. And it talks about it in detail in the novel. I'm going back to the novel because I saw some of the writings on there about the description of the mechanism that Palpatine was connected to. If you saw these things on either side of his head, they're bottles, like syringes. Right. And they were the things that they kept on. The Sith Eternal were constantly like pumping him with to keep his body going as far as it could. Okay, the cloned body. Okay, because they couldn't find the right body that was Force sensitive, that was strong in the Force, that would maintain a good body, a good strong body. They needed. And I'm going somewhere with this. They needed a chemical, a not a chemical, but I guess I don't know if it has to do with midichlorians or whatnot. But all I know is that it had to have some kind of a blood or something that can make it. And they've been trying to do that since probably since the defeat of the Empire, which brings this guy in right here.
The child.
Because I'm thinking, why? Because that's the big question in The Mandalorian. Like, why is this kid so important to the remnants of the Empire? Oh,
I mean, if you
maybe
want to answer,
it's that.
I mean, if you answer that question, if you give out any kind of information in The Mandalorian about why is he so important, you're basically throwing out the idea that Palpatine is still alive.
Well, that's why it's still a secret. Right. Because now with the book coming out and everything, and then when season 2 comes out next year, it's gonna gel. If you're gonna go this way with the whole Palpatine being a clone thing, if you're gonna go this way, if you're gonna try to make all this fit, make it fit well. Okay? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the only thing that makes sense to me, at least. You know, maybe it's just in my head. We'll see. That's the first thing. The second thing I want to bring up is another thing that the book brings up. That's right. Next thing that the book brings up is that the whole thing about Rey's parents. Okay, this is where it gets freaky.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing with, remember how we talked about in the Rise of Skywalker review how the heck did Palpatine hook up and have a kid?
Right.
Apparently, according to the book, he didn't.
He didn't?
He didn't. His son, Rey's dad, is a clone of him that didn't work. That was not force sensitive. He grew normally. They were able to get him grow normally, but it had no force ability. They couldn't get it had no force ability. He grew up normal. Or maybe there was something in him that was dormant that wouldn't come out in him like that.
When he went in.
Wow, why are you laughing?
So
It's like that. Let me give you a parallel. Jango Fett, Boba Fett, same concept.
Right.
An unaltered clone of Jango Fett that he called his son.
Right.
Which means this. That means that the woman that this clone of Palpatine, and if you look at the movie, I'm going to watch the movie again. I heard that the person who acted like this, when you see a real quick glimpse of Rey's dad and stuff, he looks like a young version of Palpatine. That's what they said. I'm trying to remember what he looked like because it was so quick. Right. That if you look at him, the way they did it, it was like it was on purpose. Like, oh, that looks like a young Palpatine. Well,
the scene was very fast.
Right. The scene was very fast. Yeah. But the idea is that him and his wife had Rey, and so Rey is not technically the granddaughter of Palpatine. As a result, if you think about it, because the kid is a clone. He grew. He was grown. He wasn't born. Palpatine's son.
Right.
Okay? So and because he knew what he was, and he knew what his clone dad, or whatever the heck he wanted to call him, wanted, was the main reason why they had to hide Rey in Jakku. Him and his wife gave rid of that Plut dude and stuff. So that's part of the reveal in the novel. You don't hear this in the movie, but it's in the novel.
Right.
What else is brought up in the novel is Darth Plagueis. There's a lot of talk about Darth Plagueis, because it talks about what Rey was seeing inside Palpatine's head, about how Palpatine for years was trying to do this secret to immortality right, and how maybe he thought that Plagueis did have the last laugh after all, because he wasn't able to really truly reveal everything to him, which is why they were struggling with getting him a new, perfectly force-sensitive cloned body.
Right.
It was where I was very pleasantly pleased to see Plagueis's name in the book. Like, you're not like just forgetting him as an afterthought. He's still plays a prominent role in this whole thing. Because
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other things that they haven't revealed yet. I mean, I'm wondering in this book, are you going to get like a definitive explanation of what went down with Luke and Kylo in the hut? You know how they did it. You know how they did it in the original trilogy.
Yes.
Where Obi-Wan told Luke one version of his father.
Yes.
But then in Return of the Jedi, Luke confronts Obi-Wan saying, "Why didn't you tell me?
Yeah.
You told me Vader betrayed and murdered my father." And then that's when Obi-Wan told him the truth.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, and
that's why I'm wondering if we're ever going to see that type of version in the novelization where Luke actually tells Rey what really happened.
I mean, I
Wait,
kind
but
of
I thought he said that in Arc. I thought he explained to her in
in the Last Jedi.
Arc 2 or
I
whatever.
don't
the
know.
hell it
I really don't think that was an actual good version.
He was on the floor and
I
and
know.
she was pointing
I
the
know, but
lightsaber at him. Okay,
I know,
okay.
but it's like, no. I'm like saying it because I feel like that was really rushed in the Last Jedi. Like
perhaps
that
yeah.
they didn't have a good way of interpreting it.
No, but you mean when Luke knew she was a Palpatine?
That's
Is that
another,
what you're talking about?
That's another example.
Cause he told her in Rise when she was in the damn island. He was
Right.
like, me and my sister knew, and I was like, wait a minute, y'all people knew this, like, and you just played it along.
He said that?
But I'm like wondering.
Yeah. He said him and Leia knew that she was a Palpatine.
Really?
Yeah.
But if you think about it, she was the product of a clone.
I don't know.
You see?
Like,
This is where it gets
because
crazy.
He's not. To me, he's not a granddaughter. If that's the case,
Right.
technically, it's Palpatine's daughter.
Yeah. But
She's
then,
not a clone.
But then you would have to go back to the last.
daughter.
Yeah, but then that's when you have to go back to the Last Jedi when Rey went into that
To the cave.
into the cave and she saw a whole bunch of versions of herself. That should indicate that she was a clone. That she was actually a clone.
Or her parents is
Or
a
her
clone. That's
parents
not
is a clone.
saying she's a clone.
Well, she saw herself instead of seeing her parents.
Yeah, but that's like those are clues of how what he said that the whole Palpatine's her father was Palpatine, meaning like
Right.
it's the same person.
It's so strange. It's so strange. You know.
I mean, it is strange, but it's like
Think about it.
Your first indication that a clone was like an idea was in The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
From that point on, I think a lot of people were like, no, that can't be. So they just threw it out of their minds until they actually saw, and they were like, he's a clone? You know what?
Because if it makes sense, look, I understand what you mean. If she was a clone,
right.
then I would have said, okay, when they show what Ralph was talking about, when they were in the boat and the bounty hunter had them in the ship,
Right.
then they would have had the Emperor young, which I bet they did. It was so fast. And they would have had the mother look like Rey. And then I would have said, oh, there you go. Right. That's the clone that you're talking about. Because then it would make sense why she's multiple. But it wasn't like that. The lady didn't even look like Rey. She just had the same hairdo, but other than that, she had no features of Rey.
The movie. The movie gets released at the end of the month. Right after my birthday. Yay! I'm getting a present. And I'm definitely buying it because I'm gonna watch that thing and I'm gonna analyze that thing. I'm gonna dissect it bit by bit, man. Because I'm like, okay, but what irks me though? That I feel like I have to dissect the damn thing. Like, I didn't have to dissect Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back when those came out.
Right.
You see, that's the problem with these days. I'm being honest.
Hey,
no, I know.
The problem with these days
problem?
is that every movie needs to be freaking analyzed, dissected, and questioned. That's why we're doing this. That's why we're having this discussion. Right?
We're having discussion, but we're not breaking it down.
We're not breaking it down. But what drives me, what's funny is that back in the day, you just kind of just took it for what it was. Like, imagine if Return of the Jedi, for instance, came out around in our day and time. You know how many people would be losing their minds right now? Oh, what do you mean Leia is Luke's sister? Ew, she kissed him. I mean, they still complain about that to this day, but now it would be even worse now.
It'd be like news. It would be like
him.
News articles.
Oh, they just made that up to finish it. That was not true. Like all that weird stuff. And the Emperor didn't look like that in Empire Strikes Back. He looked a little different. Why does he look like that now? Like people, everybody's going to be talking all this nonsense. That is not how Vader's lightsaber looked in the first movie. Why did they change it? All this weird stuff. I'm telling you. Hey, I'm just telling you. people are gonna nitpick. People are gonna complain. We do it too. I'm guilty of it also. But it's amazing how times have changed. Now.
Well, No, I totally agree with you. And then the funny thing is, it's something that me and my wife was talking about over breakfast. And I'm like, we're in a society now that everything has to be negative. Think about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The director from Batman gave you a first glimpse of the Batmobile. And the first thing everyone was saying, oh, this thing is ugly. I'm like, but you didn't even see it drive. I'm like, you just saw it in a still photo. Him standing there. It's horrible. It's an ugly design. And I'm like, but you didn't see the movie. Like, the Batmobile could just be anything. Like, he didn't have. And my problem is, and I was telling my wife, I said, at this point, what all filmmakers should do is don't release nothing. If it gets leaked, it gets leaked. But don't release actual photos of the film, because people are going to take it and then, like Ralph said, dissect that one photo and find 25 Easter eggs that you're like, where the hell did this damn thing come from? But it's just, it
looks like a Hot Wheel.
It does. It actually does look like a Ford Mustang Hot Wheel.
Yeah.
But if you actually look at it, it's a 1966 classic Batman Adam West. You see the wings of it in the body.
So weird. I used to love that car as a kid. Oh my god!
Yeah.
But I mean, look, this is not about Batman. This is about Palpatine coming back as a stupid clone. Because
so you don't like Alex? You don't like the idea. You think it's stupid. Doesn't even matter if it came from the expanded universe novels. It's not something because they struggled with it too, right, Jamel? That they would struggle with getting the right kind of body for him too, for the same reasons. Yes.
Yeah.
Look,
they explained it in the Dark Empire comic. Yeah.
For me, I don't. If it came from a book, great. But at least explain it to the audience.
Yeah, because not everybody reads the books.
No, but we have good writers in this generation that could take some material and make it better.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? But all of a sudden, the dude is a clone because they took away scenes from a movie. So it's just stupid.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you're gonna have him as a clone, then you should have just gave us more evidence in the other two movies. Yeah. Not bring him out in the final movie to get killed in the final movie. The most strongest Sith Lord in the goddamn galaxy comes out in the final movie and shoots lightning.
You know what this movie needed? You know what The Last Jedi needed at the very end?
More cowbells.
No. It needed to do something very radical and different than any other Star Wars movie had never done. It probably should have done a post-credit scene. And you see the Emperor clone in the tank. And next to kill me.
You know what? Honestly, Ralph, I agree with you. If Last Jedi ended with the tank, because Snoke died, so you could have had the Snoke, like the camera's pan and you see Snoke in the tank, and then next to him is Palpatine, and then you hear the laugh like
no, you would have heard the Sith Eternal doing their stupid chant. What is it?
Yeah. And then,
I
don't know. I think you're right, Ralph. They should have had a post-credit scene. It would have worked.
It would have worked. People would have lost their minds.
Well, what I would have wanted is not have Luke died in The Last Jedi. Instead of having him die, I think you would have heard Emperor Palpatine laugh to being the last thing that everybody hears, and that would actually
that's too. We would have needed
some. Palpatine is alive.
Nah, we wouldn't. What we just talked about right now would have been more concrete. A little laugh, they wouldn't have. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the laugh would have worked.
The laugh would have worked, but not like seeing him actually in a tank with what we saw here. I'm telling you that
Or not even a tank.
Yeah.
You can show Snoke in the tank.
Yeah.
You hear the people chanting.
Yeah.
And then you have that Sith book open, and it talks about the essence transfer
Yeah.
mad quick. And all of a sudden, people go crazy.
Yeah,
People
like they
"Oh
would have
my God."
mentioned, Lord Bane tried it and failed. Darth Plagueis tried it and failed. So-and-so tried it and failed. Now, the Sith Eternal will
I'm hoping that
accomplish
they
it.
explain
And
the
then
Sith
you
Eternal
see
in the
Emperor
book.
Palpatine like,
I
I
also
would have
do.
lost my mind.
They have to explain the Sith Eternal in the book. Because if you're just gonna create something and not have anything to back it up,
Is the Sith Eternal mentioned in that visual dictionary, Jamel?
no.
No.
Honestly,
Now we know why there's nothing about Palpatine in that book.
Because he
Yeah.
wasn't originally
He's a
supposed to
clone.
be in the film in the first place.
Well,
was
that's
just
one.
added
That's
on
one
to the last
angle.
minute.
Yeah, that's one. That's one thing. Yeah, but the second thing is that they didn't want to reveal this clone thing until now.
Right.
It's funny, when I was watching the movie, I was like, who the hell are these people in cloaks? Like, I thought they were just there to just be there. Like,
Apparently,
I was like,
they
who
were
are
a
those
sect, a heretical sect that have been around for like ever and ever, and they're not necessarily force sensitive themselves, but they are worshippers of the Sith. They are admirers of their legacy through thousands of years of this and that and that and this, and and Palpatine kind of like exploited that, and set them up to, you love me so much, okay, like this is what I need you to do in my contingency plan. And
Right,
just
but see, you're explaining it, but in the movie theater, not many people knew what the
nobody
hell they
knows
were.
anything about that. Nobody knows
They
about
were just
that. Yeah.
chanting. I was like, yo, he has a Roman Coliseum full of people just chanting. Like, I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
Again, I mean, if nobody, of course, nobody's gonna know about the contingency plan because the way they explained the contingency plan was that they showed it in the Battlefront 2 video game and in the Aftermath series.
Right. Wasn't
Which is
this guy a
all
clone
three
too?
Who?
From the video game. Dang it! What's the guy's the one that Vader had? Like, you know who I'm talking about?
Oh, you mean from the Force Unleashed?
Yes.
Starkiller.
Yes, Starkiller.
Yeah, he was a clone.
You see?
He was a clone. Originally, in the very first game, he raised the original person to be his apprentice,
Right.
and was forced to train him behind the scenes until Palpatine found out, and then he had to make it seem like, okay, the jig is up.
So as you
let me
can
get rid of him.
as you can clearly see here, cloning is a big thing in the Star Wars universe.
Well, of course.
That's how
What
you
did
do
Ralph
it.
say?
If you had to sum it up, cloning is the number one thing in this Star Wars legacy, from the prequels to now.
Yeah.
What was Ralph's thing when he said before? Enough with the cloning. Enough with the cloning.
Yeah.
Remember that? Because I was like, oh, he's a clone. No, he's not a clone.
I said that, right?
Yeah, you were like, enough with the cloning.
It's become such a staple. It really is. It's like a part of the stuff. It's like, hey, you're a clone. You're a clone. Wouldn't you like to be a clone too? Be a clone. Be a pepper. Like, it doesn't matter. Like you're a clone.
I mean, I know I've done past posts where I have indicated and thought about it that there was a possibility that Palpatine was going to be a clone, and at that time there was nothing to back it up.
Well, I think the big,
revealed.
I'm an idiot. The biggest indicator, honestly, was that face, that ghastly ghost face. He had no pupils. His forehead looked smooth. He didn't have that furrowed, nasty, messed up thing that Mace Windu did to him before he fell out the window. So it was like this whole thing. Like,
It's the first time you see Palpatine blind.
yeah, like
I was kind of lost with that.
Because it wasn't a fully formed body. It was a clone that was not developed. He couldn't see. His fingers were messed up. Everything was a mess. The only thing that looked good was the robe they put him on. They put him
And
in.
his chair.
Version of The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I
He
still
looked
think-
like a
Ralph, I-
zombie in a robe. Yeah.
You know, Ralph, I agree with you, man. They should have put a post credit in Last Jedi. It would have just made the movie better.
It would have. It would have given you something. It would have given us something to look forward to. It would have helped explain a lot. I think had they just revealed this bit by bit as it got closer and closer, not too much, just enough so to get the audience intrigued, to get the fan base intrigued, so that way when we finally saw Rise of Skywalker, we at least got an idea and an inkling of what the heck this was about Palpatine being back. Because it feels like they just kind of like coughed it up like a freaking hairball that a cat just went, Palpatine.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
I agree with you. I think it should have been like a 2-minute post credit in the movie. Show the Bacta tank full of snow,
Yeah.
and then have a circle full of those dudes in the cloak.
Yeah.
in the cloak,
and they're wearing chanting and whatnot.
and then have like a altar with his robe and his 2 Jedi lightsabers.
Yeah.
And then one dude reading a book, and then the camera pans over that says whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'm telling
and then all
you,
of a
it
sudden
would've
you get
worked.
a laugh
It would've
'cause the
worked.
body's raising.
Now,
And you
what's
could've ended-
interesting is the book will talk about that. It will talk about Plagueis. It will talk about essence transfer. It will talk about all these. It will talk about the Rey's parents. The book reveals these things. So I'm gonna buy the bloody book because I want to read
Let me
it.
tell you, I would have loved to have seen these dyads that Palpatine have like a bunch of lightsabers. It would have made the ending a lot better.
You know, lightsabers. You know, I love my light. You know, I finally got my lightsabers up here. Let me show you. Yes, guys, everybody in Strange Planet, I have my. There they go. You see the Kylo Ren.
Mm-hmm.
You see the Luke, the one I just got. You know, the Saber Forge Luke Skywalker one, and next to it is the Skywalker lightsaber. Up on the wall. And I left a space there because I'm planning on, you know what I'm going to put there? Leia's
Oh,
lightsaber. When that comes out. Yeah, when I get
the
when
one
that
that
one
she never used.
That's all right. That's all right.
Princess
It's
lightsaber.
still
She used it twice.
Padawan.
it's still a
It's
lightsaber
Padawan
I want to
lightsaber.
use. It's still hers. I'm like, yo, that's Princess Leia's. I got to put it up there. You know, and then I'm going to get Obi-Wan Kenobi's at some point. And then I'll have, you know, it's going to look good.
You know, till this day, when I saw Rise of Skywalker, I still can't grasp the idea that they made Leia a Jedi in this film when they did not make no indication in the last 2 movies that she was a Jedi. Or she was a Jedi to be.
Well, you know, in the movies, I mean, in the novels, she kind of like rejected being a Jedi. What it did reveal was why she rejected it. The movie did reveal that because she saw a vision of what would happen to her son, and she said, "I can't do this."
Yeah. Well, in Bloodlines, it does say that she did say to somebody that she had stopped her Jedi training.
Yeah.
But she stated that when she stopped her Jedi training, it had nothing to do with Ben. She said that she stopped her Jedi training because she wanted to live the path that her mother left. Her mother, before she died, was a senator. So basically, she wanted to be a senator just like her mother.
Wow.
And not be a Jedi because of what she knows, that she was the daughter of Darth Vader.
Okay.
No,
That would have made perfect sense if they would have just left it that way.
I mean, that scene was pretty cool though. When when he was training her in the woods, I was like, okay, that was pretty cool. And
That
she
was
whooped
pretty
his
cool.
butt, like,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, that was pretty cool. But in the beginning, it was really off her training Rey, because I was just like, the flashback.
She wasn't really doing much. She was kind of just standing there.
wasn't.
And keep in mind that this is, of course, post Carrie Fisher. Like,
But then you should not have those scenes.
Billy Lord really did do a good job in that scene because that was
That
actually
was
Carrie
Billy
Fisher's
Lord
daughter.
running
Yeah, that was
around in
Carrie
the woods there
Fisher's
with the
daughter running
lightsaber.
around
Yeah,
with the lightsaber.
that
Yeah,
was that was great. That
she
was
did a
great.
great job
Yeah,
on
yeah,
that. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. I thought that was a
No,
nice.
that's cool. I mean, that's cool that her daughter played her mom.
Yeah,
But like that beginning scene, I was just like, this is so off. Like the whole training, and then all of a sudden, the Millennium Falcon is right there. She just ran, and everyone's there waiting. And I was like, oh, okay, what did you do to my ship? And they were arguing that corner. That was bad lines, man. That
Anyway,
was, and then she was like, "What did you do to my R2 unit? I mean, my not R2,
BB-8.
yeah, BB-8." And then they started this stupid,
Why you decorated it?
yeah. But you didn't answer my question. What did you do to my ship? I'm like, oh my lord.
Who cares?
Yeah. Oh my god. This
So-
is punch her with the face.
As we close this
we-
discussion, because we have to close it up here. Any last thoughts regarding Emperor Palpatine's descent into cloneness?
All I will say is I'm gonna wait till the disc comes out.
Okay.
Watch the special features if they have anything on that, which I know they don't have deleted scenes because they already revealed that they were not going to have him in the disc version. And J.J. Abrams is not going to have commentary on the disc, which made no sense. Why the director's not talking, which is so stupid, but I'm like, whatever. I'm going to see the making because I know they have the making of the movie. I'm going to see the movie again, of course. And then we do the revisit a series on the film and we talk about it. But in terms of the clone, it's stupid and very poor, lazy writing.
Gotcha.
That's right.
Jamel.
Of course, I'm gonna see the film when I get it at the end of the month. I will also be reading the book because I feel that there should be a lot more than what they're saying.
Yeah.
By just leaving it as Palpatine's a clone.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that he's a clone. I just feel that they should have done a better way of explaining why he was a clone.
Right.
Instead of actually waiting until 2-3 months after the film is done and everyone's seen it and just come out of the blue saying that he's a clone.
So what are your thoughts about what we just discussed here about regarding Palpatine being a clone? Talk to us. Comment below and share with us what you think. And be sure to subscribe and tap on that bell for future notifications. We got Alex here from Ultra HD Geek. Check out his channel and make sure you subscribe to that. We have Jamel from The Order Jedi versus the Dark Side. Check out his page on Facebook and tap on the like on that one. And until next time, this strange planet, take care, guys, and we'll see you next time.